took a little bit of a break. Got the GoPro out, gonna get some more time-lapse footage. I would say if you're gonna be doing this, I would budget yourself, I don't know, probably 2 days. I think I started late in the afternoon on Friday and worked till about 8:30, and then took all of Saturday off. Now it's Sunday. Pretty much got through all the hard parts. I've got the Panhard Bar, you know, bracket mounted. The next step is you gotta lower the rear end. Careful that you don't hurt any of the brake lines. And it's kind of reinstallation. So I gotta torque everything, reinstall it, get the springs back in, the shocks, all that stuff, go around, drive it, let the suspension settle. Then you come back and you install the actual Panhard Bar. Because until you have that in, you're not doing anything. So it's a lot of work just to get there. But you know, it's a good feeling noticing that here in about a couple hours, I'll be able to drive this thing. So let's go ahead and jump back in. Okay, so just got done taking it for a test drive. You do not want to install the Panhard Bar yet. Obviously that's this piece right here. Basically the instructions tell you to get everything, you know, torqued and get the car back on the ground, drive it around the block. The idea is, you know, you remove the springs and the shocks, so you want to get everything settled, and then you go ahead and install this. And earlier in the video, I talked about centering the axle. I believe if you install a torque arm, you may have to do that within a 1/16 of an inch, but for just the Panhard Bar, you don't. You go back to your original specs. So I'm hoping you guys took measurements like I mentioned to at the beginning, and you want to go back and reinstall them to those specs. Ideally there should be no change, but you never know because things settle, and like I said, you remove parts, installed parts. So now we're on to step 60 of the instructions, almost done. It doesn't matter which side goes which place as far as the rod is concerned. However, the bolting is different. So the shorter bolt is the one that goes on the axle mount, and this one goes on the body mount. So the longer one we'll leave over there. This nylock nut, that's a normal style nut, that goes with the larger one. This square nut is the one that goes with the first side we'll attach, which is the driver's side. And you want the beveled edge inward, so like that. You're also going to use 3 washers on this one like so. These other 2 sandwiched on each side like that. That'll leave you with, should be 4 washers left over, yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that goes on the other side. So let's do this side first. Give it a whirl here. So that's how that goes. Notice there's no washer on the inside. Pretty straightforward. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but it will wiggle in there. And then you want to adjust the rod so that when you go to slide this one up into place, it fits like so. And you might have to lengthen it to get it to do that. We'll go grab the other bolt, and that'll be standard. You'll have washer, 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 4 washers. So at this point, I opted just to put the car up on 4x4s. I don't know if that's going to be the move or not. I may have needed to go with jack stands in order to get the leverage. You've got to torque that those 2 bolts to like 115 foot-pounds. But before you do that, you want to come under here and you want to try and get this as parallel as possible with the ground. So, you know, you want to hold something like this, and you basically want to adjust it until it's parallel. And you've got that slot, so you can do that. Basically bring it down until it's about perfect. And this car is lowered and I'm able to do it, so you'll be fine too. For those of you wondering how to torque this other bolt that's not captured, I've got my pipe wrench here on the ground, and obviously the pipe wrench, as you tighten it, the jaws react against the bolt trying to turn and lock it in place. You get your nice, get your short socket there. I believe it's a 15/16. Little stubby extension with your long 1/2-inch drive. Works smart, not hard. 115 foot-pounds. All day long. Last step is to grab your plumb bob. Well, second to last step. Grab your plumb bob and your level. Go back to the measurements you took before. I already verified that this was correct, so this will be correct, or should be. But we're gonna double check. So you're gonna hang your plumb bob off of your quarter panel, and you're gonna measure to the same spot I did before. For me, that was this outer lip right here of the wheel. So let's see if I can't capture that measurement here. I'm trying to use my center cap as a way to get me in the center of the wheel. Come out here. And again, I know it's hard for you guys to see, but it's 3/4 of an inch. So at this point, you do not need to make any adjustments. You just need to go tighten down your Panhard bar. You'll grab your adjustable wrench, because I don't think I have a wrench that's quite that big, or your 2 adjustable wrenches, and you'll come down up under here on both sides. And what you want to do is you're going to want to hold this so this doesn't spin, because if you let that spin, it's going to change your measurement. And then just come down here and tighten that up, and do the same thing on the other side. Go drive and enjoy. Obviously, I didn't show it in the video, but I torqued this one to 115 foot-pounds. The nut's captured on that side, so this one's easy to do. Get yourself an extension and work from outside the car, makes it a lot easier. But there you go, guys. Finished product. This is my first drive out after installing the Panhard bar. I got a couple sections of road I like to go through. You kind of start off easy and just wind through some nice, simple roads, and eventually after about 30 minutes or so, you get up in elevation. There's some really technical switchbacks and stuff. Issue is out here, you've got a lot of bicyclists, so you've got to kind of take your time. Can't get too crazy, that's what the track's for. But it's a good way to kind of shake things down. And like every time I've ever driven this car, I've always been surprised. You know, it just handles well. Anyways, that being said, initial impressions on the Panhard bar. This is going to sound weird. Initial impressions are almost as if there's more weight in the back, and I know that's not what you want to hear. Certainly, it doesn't feel like you've added a big, heavy chunk of weight. But what I mean is, it feels like you have a lot more control. Like there's just, the rear is more rigid. It feels more planted to me, even at low speeds. I did take a sharp turn, kind of an uphill sharp turn with a bump, and purposely in first stomped on it to get the rear end to break loose. And it just felt really flat. It just felt like, you know, I got the tires to spin, but it just kind of felt flat and super controllable. There wasn't any weirdness going on. All right, let's see what we got here. Gotta love that 4-valve. Got a little bit of oversteer there. I don't know if I've had that happen before, but I was kind of on it pretty hard. This is like a sweet hill climb through here. All kinds of bumps. It's not a perfect road by any means, so this is a good test. Down in a second. I need better seats. A little bit of tire spill. Woo! There we go. Now the downhill portion. Ah, this road's so good. Why do you have to close it for the winter? Well, probably because there's tons of snow and I would die. Downhill's a little scarier. Decreasing radius. It's a long one. Snow up here. All right. I should probably turn around at this point. Back from a little test drive. As you can see, this thing is a blast to drive. It always has been, but with the Panhard Bar, the rear end just feels more planted. I think this would be great for a drift car. I think it would be great for a road and track car. It's just a ton of fun. You know, we're getting into the season now here in Utah where it's starting to get really cold, so I'm gonna have to taper back doing stuff, you know, on the street. They still have track days near me in the wintertime, but it just depends. I don't want to be out there, obviously, when it's snowing, and I know you're laughing, but they do actually offer winter events where they don't clear the track, and it's just on you to know where snow is or isn't and just have at it. So I don't think I'll do that with this car, but we'll see. But either way, huge thumbs up for the Panhard Bar. Not the easiest thing to install, not the hardest either. Just takes some time. It would definitely help to have another set of hands, but all in all, totally worth it. I highly recommend it. Go to Maximum Motorsports website, start following. They give you a list. They talk about chassis stiffening. They talk about the Panhard Bar. Next step is the torque arm. I think for me, now I'm at the point where the car is really set up to handle well on the track. I need to install that catch can because I'm sure I've got a blow-by issue. I don't want to do it, but I really need to address the leaking header flange gasket. But that sucks because I got to drop the K-member. But the exhaust leak is just getting worse. But you know, hey, I appreciate you guys watching the video. Stay tuned for the next one. If you haven't already, please click that subscribe button. More content on the way. Have a good weekend, guys.